Gonna do a pull test on this KITUYOTO chain fall. It is a 1.5 tons, so 3,000 pounds, 20 foot long. Got it hooked up to a load cell. It's a 4,000 pound load cell, so got an extra 1,000 pounds of capacity on that. And I've got most of the chain stretched out just to another tree there. One thing I did notice that is a negative right off the bat is that this chain stop is made out of plastic. People use it as a pull handle. Some of them aren't really made like a pull handle like this one is, but when they are, it is pretty convenient as a pull handle. This one is a little small, but the real negative is that it's made out of plastic. And so if this ever breaks off for whatever reason, and then that bolt, which that nut right there will probably go through that chain. If that comes out, then there's nothing that's going to keep the end of the chain from being fed through the chain fall. And if you're not paying attention and you've got a load on it, you're going to lose the load, or at a minimum, you'll just have the inconvenience of the chain coming out. Minor thing, I am going to go ahead and replace this. I'm going to figure out, put a bigger bolt in there or figure out something else to replace this. That way I just never have that inconvenience of this thing breaking, which I know it will eventually someday do. But anyways, I'm going to go on with the pull test. So what I noticed with cheaper chain falls, value brand chain falls, typically they are hard to feed through freely when you put it in a freewheel. So I've got the lever in neutral right now, and I'm going to pull it through. I've done this already, and this one works really well. I'm pleasantly surprised at how well that works. Like I mentioned, typically when I've used these value brand chain falls, pulling through and releasing and pulling the chain back and forth really doesn't work that well. So anyways, gonna start cranking on it. $500 pounds, 1,000, 2,000. The handle is still real easy to operate. So 3,000 pounds. And in my experience also, when I've put chain falls come-alongs on a dyno, they will typically pull more than what they're rated at. So it's just up to you as the user not to exceed that rating, or, you know, do so at your own risk. But I'm gonna go ahead and keep cranking on this, see what it does. I'm gonna stop there because I don't want to damage my dyno. And I'm just right at, it's slowly dropping. So the brake on the chain fall might be giving up, or I'm connected between two trees. They might be slowly still continuing to pull. But it was just over 4,000 pounds. Let me crank on it again. See what's stretching. All right. Right at 4,000 pounds, and it's slowly bleeding off. That could be my strap stretching a little bit. I don't think the dyno is necessarily going to be stretching anymore. The chain, I'm not sure that it would be stretching either. I would suspect that the brake in the come along is probably just easing off a little bit. It's stabilized right there, but either way, it's rated at 3,000 pounds, and we're basically at 3,900 right now. The hooks have not stretched, so that's good. That's something I always look for right there. I have seen plenty of come-alongs and chain falls where the hooks stretch. The hooks themselves, though, are rated at 2 tons, so the hooks are technically a little oversized. Going to the other side, this one has not begun to stretch at all. It's also a little bit tip-loaded, which typically you try to keep the load down here. Got a swivel with a lock nut on there, no cotter pin or anything like that. These are riveted here. The chain does have some markings in it. See if I can get one in view. But the chain does have some stamp marks on it. It looks like a G80 that's stamped on there. It's kind of hard to see. All right, so I'm gonna release it now. This is the other thing that will prove difficult for some cheaper chain falls, is releasing the chain. This one is working really easily. And so see all the chain just pulled out. I'm going to disconnect it from this side and then try and pull the chain through again. So pretty good. Pulls more than it's rated for and goes in and out real easy. Like I said, I'd already done this a couple times before I even started videoing. Overall, pretty decent value.